You may disagree, but up to me, it's a fact. You're paying running backs. It ain't no fun in that. Yeah, the sermon about to start, so I hope you know your stats. And if Kev get it wrong, then Rashad gon' have his back with the facts. Matter of fact, all we do is say wins. When wings, congregation say amen. Trades, debates, wins, losses, the latest news, bruh. Prophet Kev speak, he got him saying hallelujah.
Welcome to Preach Kev, Preach with Rashad. We are the prophets. Here's an episode, another sermon coming at you from Wildcard Sports here on Wildcard TV. Rashad, my brother, what's going on, man?
Shoot, man, just living life, getting ready for this upcoming holiday weekend. Just, you know, coming off of this great weekend when it checked out the Hawks-Bucks game 3, you know, Trey out game 4. So really caught that on the perfect.
Facts.
really caught that perfect.
Well, you'd have been hot, boy.
I've been mad. Like, I can't sell these tickets. Like, they just ruled him out like 20 minutes before the game. Like, come on, man. Well, so hit up game 3. It was a dope game, but he did get hurt in the game. He was kind of on the floor for a minute. You know, you really couldn't tell what like happened, but you know, it was still a dope game, dope experience, man. And just getting ready for this upcoming week. I hope everybody stays safe. You know, around 4th of July with your fireworks, your travel plans, all that good stuff. If you got Monday off, I hope you enjoy that because I got Monday off.
Yes, sir.
So anybody who got the 3-day weekend, hope y'all enjoy that. And you know, man, it's always checking out some new music, new movies. Getting back in this travel swing, man. Just living life, bro.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you right now. I cannot stand fireworks. Like, I hate it with a passion. I hate when people do it on Memorial Day. I hate it. I hate July 4th only for that reason. Like, I like the food. I like the time we spend with the family. But when it comes to the fireworks, count me out, bro. Like, this just because, you know, you're just sitting there and boom, boom. And people don't know when to stop. You don't know when to stop.
I'm with it, man. It's a show. I'm with it.
Nah, cause then it's gonna go July 5th, July 6th, July 7th. Like, bro, the other day somebody was doing the fireworks the other night. I said, a week early?
No, I mean they probably just doing something just to be silly, man. But you know, most places have laws on that kind of stuff, and you only can do it for like a certain time frame. Man, you got to stop and all that kind of stuff.
I am all the way out. All the way out.
I know people with dogs kind of hate it because sometimes like the dogs go crazy when the fireworks get to popping. So people who have dogs, they have to, you know, give them a little medication and get them to go to sleep because once the fireworks go off, you know, they can be hysterical. So it's not for everybody, but I dig it.
For me,
like I dig it, man. Like I love going out to the country and just letting off a couple of fireworks, man, lighting the sky up.
Man, you better than me. I am all the way out. On the fireworks, just like a report said that Dame Lillard is out of Portland. Do you believe in that? I don't believe.
I mean, not this year, maybe next year. I mean, I think he may be the James Harden of 2022 because like I would go that route versus saying this summer. Like I know people. Like, Portland is a sensitive community, man, and I'm not saying that in a demeaning way. It's just the things that the people up there stand for and believe in. You know, they're gonna when they take that side, they're gonna stay on that side. Like they didn't want J Kidd because of his past, of course.
They didn't want Chauncey his either.
Yeah, of course, some stuff with Chauncey. Yeah, some stuff about Chauncey's background came up. So, you know, I think they would have. The only way they would have been probably satisfied with a hire would have been to go Becky because she'd have been a woman that's kind of like progressive and moving the culture forward. Yeah. And I mean, when you look at just the West Coast in general, man, like the West Coast has always been progressive. Like Starbucks, Seattle, you got all the tech companies out in Cali, the Bay Area and stuff like that. So like the West has always been progressive. So I think if you really want to satisfy that Portland fan base, you would have had to go with Becky as like that's a progressive forward move. You know, the cannabis out there, all that kind of stuff. Like you would have had to go with something that's like considered progressive and moving the culture forward. Like I think the D'Antoni thing, I think he'd have been good for Dame because that means Dame probably gonna at least be top 3 in MVP. Because wherever D'Antoni go outside of New York and LA, got kind of wherever he goes with a dominant guard. Yeah. Nash got 2 MVPs. Harden was top 3. Should have won a couple more times. Yeah. So he got one. I think he should have got it probably 1 or 2 more times. So wherever D'Antoni goes, for the most part, an MVP guard is
I
going
like
to be
that.
produced.
Yeah. So Chauncey Billups get the job.
I feel bad for Chauncey though, man. He did work and put in work, grinding to get to this point, and now it's kind of being met with backlash.
People,
you got Mr. Big Shot coaching the current Mr. Big Shot, but the fans ain't having it.
People was like coming at this whole like what I put out like Becky Hammond should get an opportunity because the Pacers coach got a Borjan, I think his name, he got an opportunity and flamed out in year one, and then Stan the Man came back with the New Orleans Pelicans and he flamed out in year one. I was like, man, you might with like 7 jobs opening, you might as well let Becky get one. I mean, she deserves because she definitely. We talk about resume, she deserves it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like we handed nothing to her, right? And then a guy want to turn this all about about race and stuff and about how the black man need to get the job. Okay, and you're right. That is a problem, right? And you talk about the progressive force. So at least Blazers made a point to emphasize a minority, whether that's in race or in sexuality. Sexuality, is that right?
Yeah, gender.
That's what
race,
gender. I meant gender. But yeah, so they hired Chauncey, and we always talk about this. We always talk about, like, I know you always mentioned this, like, we always want the black man to get the job, but is it a job or do we want them to get the job? Like Steve Nash walked into the job with the Brooklyn Nets, while a Nate McMillan had a job with Portland. Even though they was cooking back then, but you get what I'm saying. Like they usually get like bad raps, like Jock Vaughn with the Magic. Like that's not like it's not a good opportunity for you to actually do anything. Like even Doc Rivers when he first started off, the Magic wasn't all that, but getting T-Mac and signing Grant Hill, then all of a sudden here we go. But Billups, if Dame stays, you got the job. I mean, you got a chance to work something, especially with the trade rumors and stuff like that. But if Dame was out, this is not the job I wanted. Like, and I wondered did he bring that up in the meetings? I hope he did. About like, okay, what's the plan if Dame was out? Because I'm not taking the job if you know how I go. Like I guess a CJ, you got Powell there for that reason. Like you got score, so that's two guys who can put the ball in the basket. Nurkic, who when we talk about big man, he's a great big man. Then you got who else you got on the team? Melo, I guess for now. But I feel like let me ask you this: you think if Dame get traded, you think Dame should like hey, bring Melo with me, or you think
bring who with him?
Melo.
Melo gonna be gone this year. Melo going somewhere else this summer. Like Melo's not going back to Portland. Like Melo rock with Chauncey. Like him and Chauncey made the West Finals together in Denver. I think that was 2009 against the Lakers. But like Melo rock with Chauncey, but I don't think Melo's going back to Portland. I think Melo is gonna try to go. I think Melo's going in that mode where he want to try to make one more run at that title. So, like Portland, he been there for 2 years now. They tried it, but I don't think he's going back. I think Melo's going to try to link with the bro LeBron. He made. I've never saw Melo as like a Clipper guy. Not saying in a bad way, but I don't think he'll want to go to the B city in LA. So. If he gonna rock out, he gonna go rock with Braun if it's LA. The Knicks aren't a contender right now, so I don't think Melo will want to go there. But he may want to go slide over to Brooklyn. I'm not sure what his connection with James is. I know when Melo, they kind of outcasted him from Houston. James was on that team. So Melo, I mean, he got New York roots, so I wouldn't rule out Brooklyn. But I don't think Melo will be back. I don't think Nurkic is coming back. I think the roster is going to turn over something now. Powell's going to be a 50-50 call. He has a player option for about $12 million. So he may pick that up.
They about to blow. They about to blow up.
So like Powell's $12 million. I think it's like 11, 12 million.
Oh, he definitely want more than that. Yeah, he
may pick that up. Or he may like then when he just decline his $12 million, he's hurt. So Powell may decline.
Powell probably. We talk about the landscape.
I want 4 for 50 or something.
I'm about to say Powell. I'm not saying like he for what he brings to the table, he's a $17 probably $1 million guy. Like that's just what it is, 15 plus at least. So he definitely going to decline. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm thinking Powell gonna probably decline,
So-
and he may take the highest bidder. They have Cantor on the roster. Cantor's a free agent. I don't know if Cantor goes back. Zach Collins hurt his foot again, so he probably didn't get signed back. Who else they have out there? But that's really it. It's gonna be Dame, CJ. They're gonna have to find a big. They still have Covington. They have Nasir Little, Anthony Simons, and a couple guys like that. But like kind of those other guys, like I think Nurkic is out of there. I think Cantor's a free agent. Melo's a free agent. Collins, like they're gonna have some.
Collins done. He got hurt again. Like he fractured his foot, so he done.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's a tough situation because you're talking about a team that's been in playoffs with the last. I think Terry Stotts been in the last.
They've been in playoffs the last like 8-9 years.
Okay, that's what I thought. So yeah, so you're talking about a successful ran franchise. They really have been. Like the GM, he's done. I forgot his name, but he's done his part with him, Terry Stotts, and Dame as far as getting to the playoffs. And you know, for the most part, I always say that they always overachieved at everything they did as far as being a 3 or 4 seed and you know getting smacked in rounds. And you know they made a conference final, so you know, that's pretty good out of the run. But yeah, it's gonna like you said, it might be a next year thing for let Dame let me see this one time. What can they do? And I saw you mention that you were saying like it may be better just to trade Dame because you can get ransom. You can get you know, whatever. I seen a lot of packages. I seen like Minnesota package where they get first of all they say Edwards and D'Lo, and I'm like, come on, like let's be realistic. But I seen the New York. I think New York has like one of the best odds to get them. Where I think you can you have to trade RJ. You're not getting getting Dame without giving me RJ. So
you have the gut the whole roster though.
So I guess for Knicks they might not have a problem as long as you keep Randall. You don't really care about nobody else, and you probably keep D Rose too, just off that fact alone too. So whatever it is, it's like it's different places, and I know a lot of people, you know, try to make these crazy scenarios and Dame to Lakers like how all these crazy scenarios, and I'm saying like. As much as I agree with you about getting the ransom, like I don't know if you can get I don't know if the teams that can give a ransom. I think the teams that make sense, like I think these teams make sense. You tell me if it don't, but like I think like a New Orleans makes sense to get Brandon Ingram, trade him to Boston, get a Jaylen Brown because you're getting a known commodity star back, and if let's say you get Brown and some picks. You gotta stomach that because otherwise you're gonna get RJ and some picks, and that's not what you want to do. Like you know what I'm saying? So it's like the ransom. It's not many teams that have, you know, a star and a budding star alongside to get the budding star back, and you know I guess that's why it's like okay, it may be easier to trade CJ, but then on the same foot, I think you mentioned the like no all-star, like you know what I'm saying. So. He's never been an all-star. So like the value you can get back for CJ is going to be a lower return, right? And like it's a sticky situation either way it goes. Like we see this all the time with a superstar type player wants out. So Dame is a superstar type player. So if he comes out and says trade me, yeah, it's 30 teams in the league. He's on one of them. So that means you have 29 options, but technically you don't. Because a superstar, if he say you can trade, but I'm not going there. If you say I'm not going there, you can't trade him there. So like the market is already suppressed from just that alone. We saw it with Harden. I will only report to he's
two
like
teams.
He's like 3 teams.
Like it's 2 or 3 teams. You can send me. I want to be in Brooklyn, but if y'all flip me to Philly, at least I know Daryl and. I mean, I guess he would have took Miami because it's Miami. You would have played with some other quality guys. So the trade got to work for the superstar for one and the franchise number 2. Because if the player said I'm not going to go there,
he ain't going.
What option do you have? Russell Wilson was going to stick him up. Yeah, if y'all trade me, it's only 4 teams I'm going to.
Right.
So like that's the league, man. Like everybody, so it's basically a stick up. Like you can hold them for ransom. Like you send me here, and that's we're gonna just play this season out toxic. It's a ransom both ways.
But that's the problem with like the small markets who had the superstars because like you have to get the ransom in return. Like, and I feel like the Pelicans got a ransom. Like I feel like getting Bi Lonzo and then you drafting Zion. That's a great at least core, you know what I'm saying? Like at least what you're working with, and And
because look at what they did, bro. I'm only going to certain teams. Like the dude, dad said, y'all trade him to Boston for what? He don't want to go there.
He don't want to go there. Yeah.
So like, why would you even waste your picks and packages on trade for him? Like it's
just
a
for him to walk
ransom.
out the door. Especially when you have 1 year deal in your contract. Hell no.
Like it's a ransom. When Kyrie told Cavs, I don't want to bet. He had like Spurs, Celtics.
And,
well, no, he had Spurs and some other teams on the list, but they went sent to the Celtics and he was cool with it. But it's a ransom every time. Like you can only send me where I want to go.
Yeah, and then he has to benefit, like you said, the franchise after that. So once we narrow the 29 options to 5, let's
3.
say, yeah, okay, we'll go 3. Then I gotta say, all right, what's the best package for me? Because as much as I love you, and as much as Dame meant to Portland, the Portland like that, and that's like basketball is somewhat different than football because the football is all about the symbol, like the cowboy is a star. Like who cares who the quarterback and the running back? You know what I'm saying? It's going to continue to go, and you can say the same for Portland, or in basketball because it's like okay, the Lakers still gonna move on without Kareem and Magic. Now they got Shaq and Kobe, then they moved on, got Kobe and Gasol, and moved on to LeBron. But some franchises aren't fortunate like that. Like Portland had what? Bill Walton, then he left. Then you had what? Terry Porter and Clyde.
You had Bill from the 70s, Clyde,
and then you got
from the 80s.
You got Greg Oden and Brandon Roy for like 2 years because of injuries, which they would have been starting. They would have been balling, but you got Dame. So you really had that many pedigree guys that come through their franchise. So it's kind of like we're going to have to take the ransom, but my ransom is going to be a star. Like if Dame was to give me the list. What do you think? If you was Dame, give me a list that you think that Dame would probably say.
Like for him, it's gonna just be about winning or the market. So I mean, you're not going to the teams that you would say that's gonna probably be a contender, like the Golden States, the Lakers, the Clippers.
All those
you really can't. You can't get there. So now you're going to the Brooklyns. You can't get there. So the trades that would make sense for him and the franchise, you got to start looking because Portland, they don't attract free agents. So you got to start looking at teams that have a piece already signed long term with some type of value that you can get back. So now you're looking at, all right, we're gonna flip Dame to Philly for ransom. That means we're gonna take Ben and everybody else because now we got a point guard.
Right.
We can get some shooters over here. You still got CJ and get some shooters. And we'll let Ben do his thing. Or you got to look at somebody like Milwaukee. All right. We know Giannis, the franchise. They just signed Drew. The way Drew been playing off and on, nobody want Drew in that money for the next 3 or 4 years.
I don't think Bucks are going to trade Middleton.
So that means you got to trade. That means Chris is on the block because he's on the other options. So that means,
right. I mean, yeah, but I don't think Bucks will do it either, though.
So to make the money match up,
right? You got
to get somebody like that, you're like, all right, well, Chris, and we're gonna raid your roster for whatever else. But you really can't raid much because they already gave picks up to get Drew. So that's what I always say.
So Bucks already out. I mean, Bucks out.
So I don't care where Bucks always gonna be stud. You gotta look at Miami because that's the destination.
That shit, but see, you say the destination.
They don't have the pieces.
They got I was saying they got the destination, but not the pieces. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they don't see like Miami. They can get somebody in free agency. Like you can sign there, but they can't. You can't just. They don't have anything to send back to you. So because they just gave up a little bit of stuff with the Oladipo thing. Not a lot, but it's just that's always gonna be on the radar. Like he'll go to this team because of destination. So, and you gotta consider New York. It's the market. Everybody love Dame. Connections out there. So you gotta look at New York. But even then, what are they flipping back over there? Because they don't really have a lot of money on the books either. So you're gonna have to center a package around RJ Barrett, RJ I think is dope. RJ is not promise.
But not when you put him in the
but
one or two slot.
What RJ is right now.
That's where he needs to be.
It's miles behind where Dame is right now. Dame is top 10 in the league. RJ had made his first All-Star yet. Yeah, so and there's no diss to RJ. I'm a fan of dude, but it's just when you traded this guy for this guy, how it's gonna look. You won't be able to really analyze that until 15 years down the line. Like there was a bad behind trade.
Yeah. So I like, and that's why I like the where his list is gonna go. You might have to set us, and you probably have to do like a Chris Paul thing. you might have to set. I mean, Phoenix is not a great crazy market like LA and the New Yorks, but you may have to set aside and be like, I'm gonna, instead of playing the market, I'm gonna play with this guy. And like you mentioned the Bucks, like, you know, obviously I think Dame and Giannis are one of the greatest, would be one of the best duo. If you had to rank who would be a great duo pairing, I think they will be. That's a top 10 pairing in my opinion. Like if you go through the NBA, if they're all combinations.
Oh yeah.
Like so, obviously, like I said, you can't get there. So you have to find where you can go, where you can have that pairing. And Portland, of course, don't want to send you to the West. So
yeah.
So like, let's just say Portland.
That's why I only named all East teams. Right, you're not sending him West.
So let's
and if you did, what West team got the access to get
the
him?
only one you got is Minnesota. To be honest with you,
he's not going.
And he went, but a Cat and Dame pairing would be nice. But that's the only way you can go. Like that's like I'm trying to think of any other West. Like obviously you're not gonna go to Denver because they got Jamal, which I mean they will flip. But like I said, it's the West, so they're not gonna do it. But yeah, I'm trying to think that that's pretty much it.
I know is you're not taking a Bay Area dude from the Bay Area,
from the
Bay Area to Portland to go to Minnesota.
Okay, 2K wise, it's perfect. But anyway, in the East Side. So this is why you said Philly. Okay, I do like that with the Ben Simmons one because Bill has been on record saying what Ben Simmons is, and I need people to realize what Ben Simmons is. He is a defensive facilitator. Okay, so do not trade in Dame, 30 and 8 for Ben Simmons. He's going to get us 15, 8 and 8. That is his role and to play elite defense, right? So you put a team around him, CJ, the Powells, and they gonna score. They gonna score 20 plus. Like and they're gonna have easy buckets. So it will work. So the Philly one I really like the Boston one. Like I really like because I really think Jaylen Brown. I really don't think the wings when they're similar players are going to work. Like for example, like the Paul George and the Kawhi situation, it works. Of course, it works. But look what Paul George is with and without Kawhi Leonard. Not like Paul George have way too many lapses, right? Like too many games where he's not him, like he's not elite because Kawhi taking over, right? And that's good to have sometimes, especially in the series. But what Paul George is doing right now, and I know we love the jokes about the pandemic P. That's always gonna be funny, but it's like what Paul George is. He is showing why he's when you ranking guys, if top 15, if you ain't named them yet, you need to start your list over. Like, and I feel like that's where situation we're coming to. But see the difference between Paul George and Kawhi, they've already both been the man and coming together to reach another common goal. While I feel like Tatum and Brown are still rising, and I feel like Tatum might go take away from Brown, and that's just my opinion. And maybe I might be wrong about that, but I feel like they need to separate to grow more than what they're going to be. And I feel like Brown has the potential to be just as good as Tatum. It just give him the opportunity like Tatum getting right as far as like all the shots and all the shine. So if you trade you give Dame Tatum. They gain complement each other because they both can shoot the basketball. They both can do everything. Like so, they'll be fine. And you give Jaylen Brown Portland with the CJ and the Powell. That's Jaylen Brown has the opportunity to be like I'm a star, like, and you gonna respect me as such, right? Like I feel like that's what like Brandon Ingram. He got to grow in New Orleans, so I do like that one. So those two I like. Whether Boston want to trade Jaylen Brown, obviously if I say you can get Dame, you are gonna do it. But
and like that's why I didn't mention that because it's like they've invested so much into Brown and Tatum. It's like, you gotta realize there's a ceiling on that, but at the same time, it's like we've put so much stock into these guys and they've grown together. Do you want to flip this guy for that guy?
And so let's just say Powell declines it, right? Because obviously he want more money. Now, what Kemba Walker is now, we know that he's not a. We know that his back still hurt from carrying Charlotte for so long, right? And his injuries are kind of slowly breaking him down. But
yeah, his body broken way down.
If you flip Dame for CJ, I mean, if you flip Dame for Kemba and Jaylen Brown, and let's say Powell walks out the door, you could be fine with that with Jaylen Brown, CJ, and Kemba. Now, is that gonna win a championship? Of course not. You got other pieces. You got other things you got to do. But at least you're not going from automatic playoff berth to top of the lottery. you might be flirting with that eight seed a lot, but if Jaylen Brown becomes who I think he can be, you never know, right? So those two teams, and is there anybody else in? I mean,
but it's gonna take more than Jaylen Brown. Like if you're trying to get Dame to Boston, that means Brown and Smart going. So now you got to find you a defensive wing, which there are those in the league, but you basically start your roster over. So it's going to be Jason Tatum, Jalen Lillard, Jason Tatum, Dame Lillard, and then you got to fill the roster out. You got Al Horford, but what else goes with that? Like that's a solid 3, but what else do you have that goes with that? Like you still need somebody else who can guard. Like you don't want to wear Tatum out trying to guard the best wings all the time. So you still need you a wing. You still need a hard-nosed defensive guy like Smart is. So you have to make some changes. They got some nice stuff on the roster. Peyton Pritchard, Carson Edwards, Rob Williams. They got some stuff on the roster, but you have to give up some of that stuff to get a guy like Dame. So I think it always come down to who the matching money and where he wants to go.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. Like, shout out to Charles Billups for getting the job because he really hasn't been around as far as coaching, quote unquote, too long. Like, what, 1 year, 2 years?
Who is it?
Billups. Like, he hasn't been around as far. He hasn't been a coach. He hasn't been an NBA coach long. I think this is first. I think it's first year, wasn't it? The Clippers, or maybe second.
Yeah, as assistant. Yeah. So he been doing ESPN.
Right. So he's been around, but he's been around.
And then of course point guards like coaches on the floor, so you always get that leg up too.
Yeah, so we'll see what Charlie Billups, and we'll see about the Dame situation, and we'll see. It probably unfolds probably a month from now, but the problem is he's gonna be going to the Olympics, and that's probably why you're right about when it's gonna start, because they gonna have to get the roster together, and the GM he's gonna work his ass off because you got to blow it up, and I mean it's a lot of good free agents out there, but like you said, it's not a free destination, but can that lure Dame? Can Dame lure guys there? And that's what you hope for. Or at least like a 1 year rental, like for guys like a Drummond who might not get the. What I'm saying? I'm just saying, like if you look at Joe, you got to get something, right? So maybe you got other options. So we'll see what kind of plans that he make. Melo out the door, Powell potentially out the door. So you got a lot of roster rebuilding to do. So.
I'm not counting on, like, I think this gonna be, they ain't gonna put on the show per usual, but I think he's gonna start his last season in Portland. Like this is gonna be his last year there, and I'm gonna feel sorry for Billups the same way I feel sorry for Steven Silas because he got a job. You think he's gonna get Harden and Westbrook? Boom, Westbrook out of there.
Christian Wood, boy, your best player.
What happened? Harden don't want to come back. Oh, okay, now Harden out of here. So now it's. And then they got Oladipo. Then Depot was out of there, so it was just Wall and Wood. Wood got hurt, so Houston is a great city, but your roster was turned over all year long. You thought you were going to inherit, in my opinion, a top 5 player, and the roster went crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking the same thing may happen with Chauncey. They ain't gonna probably play this year out. He can go to the Olympics and see what it feels like to play with some of the great players, and I think he's entering that age where, like, look. I think I'm just as good, or like a lot of guys don't really talk like that, but like mentally you have to feel like that. Like I'm just as good, if not better than Steph Curry, Kyrie, Westbrook, all these guys, like the scoring guards of this era.
Yeah, definitely.
But shoot, Curry got the 2 MVPs, 3 titles. Kyrie got a title and stuff like that. And then you look at Westbrook got MVP and assist titles and stuff like that. But Dame, honestly, I hate to say it, but as history goes on, he may get forgotten because he won't have the MVP or stuff like that. He's going to just have his All-NBAs and All-Star games and just be known for hitting these crazy shots, except they was in the first round. And, like, that's how this young mindset goes. Like, Dame is a baller, but people can always say, but you didn't win nothing. Like, I don't think guys' career should be diminished to a freaking piece of jewelry that guys be pawning and you go buy the auction or something. I don't think I don't think guys' careers should be reduced to did you win this or win that. Like, but that's how some people are gonna revisit the game down the line. They ain't gonna remember Dame was a top 10 player in the game.
Exactly. But I mean, he has to leave. I mean, I feel like that's it's a thing where you only can do but so much in certain situations. And does Kyrie ever get a ring if LeBron never comes back to Cleveland? No, of course not. Does he have the potential to win another one without Durant and Harden? Of course not. Does Curry get more than one if Kevin Durant don't come? That's a lot of things. But you're talking about your best player is CJ, who's never been an All-Star, and that's where your problem is. That's
and some of that is injury, and some of that is just the guard play being loaded. Like CJ get buckets too, but the fact that he can't be recognized as an elite guard to even make the All-Star kind of puts a cap on your team.
Right, exactly. All right, let's move on to another coaching hire. I want to play this snippet by Mark Cuban, what he said about the coaching hire that he did. So take a listen to this.
X and O expert gave you the ultimate advantage. But now I think having a relationship person, right? Somebody who can connect to the players, because that's what gets them to go a little bit harder, right? And that's what, when the chips are down and every team has a bad run, one way or the other, you want somebody that just is a relationship person. It's not that Rick isn't good at that. He was, but it's just harder to relate to a 22-year-old.
Right.
So he's saying it's harder to relate to a 22-year-old with Rick Carlisle, and that's why he went out to Jason Kidd, a player's guy, a player's coach, a guy who's from this, the guys who are playing with or playing now had looked up to Jason Kidd growing up. So you got Luka Doncic, he's been one of the best players in the world for quite a while, including his time over there in Euro. This guy is 22 years old. Arguably top 5 in the game, and putting the team on the back again and fell short against the Clippers once again. So Rick Carlisle's out, in comes Jason Kidd. So your thoughts about the hire?
The Mavs are going as far as they can go at Rick. I mean, they're having some internal strife with somebody that Mark Cuban hired that favors analytics a little bit more than some other people thought. And I knew that shit was going to come crumbling down when they said Donnie Nelson was going to be out of there. So him and Rick are close. So you only knew, all right, Rick and he resigned gracefully. And then Mark didn't even try to stick him up. Like, hey, you got 2 years left on your deal. Feel free to go out here and find another job, man. It's all good. And Rick did land with the Pacers back where he first started at. So it's a tricky thing with coaching. Man, longevity is a great thing. To be able to coach in the NBA, which is the top basketball association in the world, for guys to get 15, 18, 20 years in the game, that means something. That means you had staying power. You were able to win multiple rounds, or Rick won a title, and Pop has won 5 titles and stuff like that. So that means longevity means you've been around and you've had success. But at the same time, longevity also means age. It also means a change of culture, changing of the guard, things like that. And sometimes you have to go a different, younger route for players to be more relatable to the coaches, for coaches to be more relatable to the players. You would hope everybody can stay current and still be able to reach these guys. The Belichicks are still coaching, the Nick Sabans and guys like that, the Urban Meyers. But, Greg Popovich with Spurs, they haven't been winning a lot of games lately. The Mavs missed the playoffs a couple of times, first round exits, and now Carlisle is on the outs. And when you look at the age of some of the coaches now, it's getting to be a younger age. So,
right. Makes sense, though.
Sometimes it just comes with the territory, man. Longevity is a great thing. Guys have great careers, but at some point, the guard has to change. And Jason Kidd just might be the guy that's more relatable for Luka. Jason Kidd knows how to play that triple-double type game. He's not the scorer Luka is, but Jason Kidd knows how to do that. I mean, he was in Milwaukee for a little bit. He kind of helped Giannis start the path of what he's gotten into.
Yeah.
He didn't stay there long, but he kind of helped start that path. He was in Brooklyn for a minute with some vet guys. I mean, I know that part didn't go well since he was about the same age as KG and Paul Pierce and those guys. So he didn't stay there long, but they did make the playoffs. And he's just a smart, witty guy. Of course, the stuff about his past is gonna always come up, but you can't always hold that against somebody. People grow, mature, learn from their mistakes and everything. Like, yeah, it happened, but at the same time, you got to still be able to, give people a second chance and on life and everything. You can't always hold stuff over their head. But on the basketball side, I think him and Luka could be a good pairing. Like, I think all the coaches who've been hired so far, they all fit well. Like, for the time being, Billups and Dame is gonna be a good pairing. For the time being, Kidd with his Dallas history is gonna be a good pairing for Luka. I think Ime Udoka is gonna be a good pairing in Boston. I think Rick going to Indiana is gonna be a good pairing for them. I think Rick's style is just gonna fit better with the Pacers.
Yeah, the Mavericks. I think Jason Kidd. So you mentioned with Giannis. Well, to be honest, as soon as Kidd left, Giannis won the MVP the next year. So you got to think the Kid had a lot to do with that. I doubt you can say Bud got a lot of great things to do because everybody complaining about the offense now. So as far as the development of what he can do to players, I think Jason Kidd is top notch at that. He also helped the Lakers. Development on that side. Obviously, Frank Vogel was the head man over there, but you got to point to something as far as like development with like guys like Caruso's and the THT. I mean, it might not be all Kid, of course not, but not saying that. But you got to hope that he can bring that to the table when you talk about the Mavericks, and you'll see the rest of his coaching staff coming up and see what he do. But it's definitely I think a great hire for the Dallas Mavericks. Now you have to worry about the roster. What to put around Luka, how to keep Luka happy before he wants to leave. And, when you got like a Dirk Nowitzki in your corner saying like, man, this is a great city. Mark Cuban, who's a dedicated owner, my favorite owner in the NBA actually. So it's a lot of good with this. And I think this is only the beginning. Like you still have to figure out the KP situation with Porzingis. Who's going to be that second guy? Alongside, because Tim Hardaway, as good a player as he is, just like we mentioned about RJ Barrett, where you're talking about what level he needs to be at, trying to have him as your second best guy scoring 25, 30 a night, that's not realistic. I don't believe so. So trying to find a second guy, and obviously now looking, hindsight 2020, trading Richardson for Seth Curry looked like it was a dumb decision. But at the time I thought it made sense because you need defenders, you need long wings, and it didn't really pan out like it is. So what Jason Kidd gonna bring to the table, I think is gonna be a lot. He already been in Dallas, like you mentioned earlier. He knows the vibes there. Because he won a championship with Dallas. So
they won the title.
So you got Jason Kidd got roots there. So it's like now you got somebody who Luka gonna respect that. So anyway,
they got to figure out the staff first. Like I think Jason Kidd having a good staff is gonna be the biggest thing, and I'm hoping it works out for J Kidd, man. This is gonna be his third coaching job, and if it don't work out here, who knows if he'll ever get another job. He may have to go into something else because he had to stay more than a couple of years at each of his stops. So hopefully he can assemble a pretty good staff. I mean, because he just came from the Lakers, which was a good staff with him on it, Frank Vogel and Phil Handy and some other guys. So I'm not sure what connections J Kidd has to put around him coaching wise, but that's going to be the main thing. And I think the forgotten thing is what's going to happen with Jamal Mosley, because he was on the staff and he's cool with Luka and whatnot. So I want to see what happens with him. Does Jason Kidd say, hey, you got a good relationship with him, come stay on the staff? I want to see what kind of staff he builds out. And we know they won't get good value back for Porzingis anyway. So I wonder if J Kidd is like, hey, give me a year with him, man. Like, he just came off an injury. Give me a year with him. Let's see what I can do with him. So you just never know. We know him and Porzingis and Doncic don't have the best relationship, but let's see if that can change with a new voice in the locker room. You just never know.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll let the kid hire. You gotta, like I said, you gotta work on that roster. With Luka, man, it's the same thing with Dame. Like, you gotta hope you don't get to that point where, he's carrying the franchise for so long and he just get tired of it and trying to find exit. So I feel like you need to work very quickly. And what Portland didn't do that Mavs did was change the coach. They kept Terry Stotts, I think, around way too long, in my opinion. And like you said, like, it's always sometimes to get that good change, like Mark Cuban said about the relationship. So we'll see if he can be the bridge, because obviously point guards are point guards are the best coaches. It's the reason why Chauncey Billups a coach now, Jason Kidd a coach now, Doc Rivers, Ty Lue. Like you can keep going on. Like it's a reason why Scott Skiles. I mean that's a crazy name to say, but it's a reason why the Vinny Del Negro, all those guys were coaches because they know how to keep everybody happy. That's a D-Fish. That's another good one. Like it's a lot of you got to keep everybody happy, and that's what point guards do. Like be able to bid this relationship and did this one and this one. So maybe he can, like you mentioned, he probably can mend that relationship and get back together with Porzingis. That is the biggest task. And I think Mark Cuban had to bring that up to Jason Kidd in the meeting. Like we have to make this KP and Luka work because you just said you can't get nothing for KP. Like what level you gonna give a KP? I don't think. Would you rather have KP or Tobias Harris? Like you know what I'm saying? Like
I mean, Porzingis' value, what they gave up to get him, and then what you would get back, it wouldn't even be close. Like you gotta figure it out to make it work. Like he's been injured a lot, and him and Luka don't have the best relationship right now.
They still won that trade though, because like you got KP and you got Tim Hardaway. I mean, like, of course, right?
Like Hardaway was really just a throw in.
Because what they got a first round pick probably, so that probably were maybe like was it? I doubt it was RJ. It probably was like Kevin Knox or something. Like you know what I'm saying? The trade. I got to look into that, but they probably still won the trade. So I guess you still got your return investment. I mean,
like it depends how you look at. Like I don't think you can say anybody won or lost the trade because basically the Knicks, their hope was potentially all right. Porzingis not gonna stay, so let's move off of that and try to recruit some guys to come here. Of course, they were hoping to get that first pick and get Zion, and then you land KD and Kyrie at the time, or the Kawhi thing. Of course, you didn't get Zion. You got RJ Barrett, solid piece. You didn't get KD and Kyrie, but you still have that flexibility. You got Randall. You just made the playoffs, so you really can't say somebody won or lost the trade because what they have right now could turn into Dame and something else down the line. And now it's like, well, these pieces parlayed into this, and y'all still stuck with KP. So we really came out the back end on top. So you really can't say who won or lost the trade until like everybody gets further down the line.
Right. I mean, yeah, it sounds good, man. I like the hire. So we'll see. It's all up to Kid to mend that relationship. So you already mentioned about the Rick Carlisle to Indiana. Just quick thoughts on that. I think they'll get back right because Nate McMillan and Carlisle are more of that like still that old era where they're hair down. Let's get to work, guys. And I think Indiana responds to that. They always have. They always been the kind of city where like they just want to work. And it's a bad experience last year. So this year I think they'll get it together. And Rick Carlisle should bring them back. And should make the playoffs next year.
Yeah, after the year they just had with Nate and the stuff they said what happened in the locker room, they're gonna be more than happy to get Carlisle. He signed a 4 or 5 year deal. They should make the playoffs all 4 or 5 years, barring injury. And hopefully they can at least make an Eastern Conference final, and that'll be a successful hire. Like just getting out of the first round would be trending towards success because you have to judge teams off a realistic expectation. And I think for the Pacers, second round is kind of meeting expectation. Well, making the playoffs is meeting it. Getting to the second round is good. Making the East Finals would be great. Anything beyond that is basically you've overachieved. So Rick Carlisle should be able to get them to at least second round, hopefully at least one East Final during his contract tenure.
Yeah. So the other jobs are available still. The New Orleans Pelicans. You have Wizards, and then one more I'm missing. What am I missing?
Oh, the Magic haven't hired anybody.
Magic. I do want to shout out to Udoka. He got the job for the Boston Celtics. So I don't really know how to talk about that because Brad Stevens, who was the coach, is above him now. I don't know if Brad Stevens is gonna be hands on, like, or is he gonna let him go, like, or he gonna be in his ear. So I got to see how that all folds out for Udoka. But shout out to him because he been grinding for a while. So with the Spurs, and I think he was with who he just came from.
Spurs, Brooklyn, like he's been around, like he's been a
problem. So I'm
glad he's been on some of the FIBA coaching, limit coaching, because he's a pop guy, so he's been around that. So he's already kind of built up relationships with some of these guys. So that's kind of why he got the job, really, and hopefully it's a good move. I think Brad's gonna probably be hands off because he's he didn't like being a coach anymore. So I think he'll be hands off and let Ime put his own imprint on the team. He's already put the battery in Brown and Taylor's back. Like, yo, y'all weren't even all NBA. Y'all need to go out here and take it. Put yourself on the map. So I think he's gonna put the battery in their back, and they could have a good year.
So the last 3 teams: Magic, Pelicans, and the Wizards. So disadvantages, advantages of each team, real quick. As I won't take too long on this, but we know the Magic is a rebuilding season, right? So So as far as the Magic, where do you go? Because you gotta hope you can, because you traded your best players away. So now you're rebuilding. So what's the move there? Because whoever comes is just probably a stepping stone.
I mean, I see that Penny Hardaway's name is gaining traction. I hope for his sake he doesn't take that job. I hope he stays at Memphis and keeps, trying to build that program into something bigger than it already is, and hopefully at least get them to the Final Four. So hopefully Penny doesn't take that job, because he'll be fired from the NBA in 3 years. In college, at least you can get a 15-year job. Like, as long as you're producing in college, that's a 15-year job. NBA, you out in 3 years. So they just need somebody who can kind of instill culture there. So, I'm not sure who they would go after. Like, I think for jobs like that, you need somebody who can either instill culture, or you got to go get like a guy that can fit a certain style. If he sees like, well, these guys can fit my style, let's play this way, and they can kind of start seeing some like just immediate success in the wins and loss column, it'll make it a cooler thing. But the Magic in a tough spot.
Magic been in a tough spot for a while because their picks aren't hitting. I like the Cole Anthony deal. Isaac, if healthy, is good. Bamba, I think that was a bad pick, but they made up for it. I think trading for Wendell Carter Jr. for Vucevic was kind of like, all right, let's try to repair that Bamba thing, because that might not work out. But you never know. The Magic have to build up, and you got to hope people turn into stars. So they got 2 lottery picks this summer. Cole Anthony, Fultz. I like those 2 as guards, but how is that going to work together? Because Cole Anthony ain't get popping until Fultz was out for the season. So you got 2 of those guys there. You got Isaac returning back, and you got Carter and Bamba as your pieces. Obviously you got Okiki, I believe, is on the Magic. So that's so you got pieces, and you got 2 more picks. Then you're gonna draft, and they're gonna be pieces again. So it's the crazy part is you're gonna have to draft somebody and hope they turn into a Kawhi Leonard. You're gonna hope you can, like, that 10th pick is gonna be, or whatever pick it is, like, it's gonna be a Giannis. Like, I think Giannis will draft the 15th, but you get what I'm saying. Like, you're gonna have to hope that you get one of those guys, because I don't know how a coach is gonna survive this. Like, and hell no, Penny, stay your ass in college. Do not take this Magic job. Like, I understand you are Orlando, but if they're not giving you, like, the promise of giving you 5-6 years to at least try to turn it around, don't do it. Like, it's still not.
I don't care if they gave him a 7-year deal, 10-year deal. It wouldn't be worth it either way, because you're not gonna produce on the wins and loss column rapidly enough where at some point, if it doesn't turn into wins and losses, the wins don't translate. You lose the locker room. I don't care how cool you are, how dope you are. Like, at some point, you're gonna lose the locker room, because your message will just start to die off. Like, how can I keep believing in you when we're winning 23, 27, 28 games? Like, that's why the Suns kept changing coaches. Like, we talk about D-Book having all these coaches, but it's like, how can the front office or the roster keep believing in somebody when you can't even crack 30 wins or 40 wins, So I hope Penny don't touch this job. I hope he stays at Memphis. The Magic, they got to either go disciplinarian to instill, like, just a culture in the young guys, like, no turnovers, good shots, no bad shots, crash the glass, rebound, just XYZ type of stuff. Or they got to go get a coach that says, hey, this guy, I can build around him and make us win games because I believe in this guy.
Yeah. Good luck to whoever take the Magic. DC, you got Russell Westbrook and you got Bradley Beal. I mean, what are we doing there?
They're in flux, man. I don't think Beal's gonna take an extension. I think Beal's gonna be a trade piece. probably mid-season trade deadline type thing, or maybe even next year along with Dame. I don't think they'll trade him right now because he's the franchise. So they're kind of stuck, man. They're in limbo. They're not one of the best teams in the East. Like, I don't even think I thought they would be coming into the year once they got Russ. I thought they would be top 4, top 5 in the East, but they're not. Now, that could change next year. Russ is still putting up triple doubles, Bill is second in scoring. There won't be all these COVID protocols. So maybe the team can produce, But I'm not sure what they need. It's all dependent upon what happens with Bradley Beal. So you could be looking at another situation where your all-star player can determine if the franchise goes up or down.
Yeah. I mean, this for free Bradley Beal thing has been like 2 or 3 year thing, but he's staying loyal. So if Russ leaves again or whatever it is, I mean, Wizards don't really have too much to look forward to. But you got to think a whole nother year with Rui, Denny. Like, you just gotta hope the young guys just get better, because Rui stepped up a little bit, but can he take another step to be that third guy? He wasn't really a consistent scorer like that. So you gotta find consistent scorers off the bench, whatever the case may be. Because money situation, I gotta check in the cap situation, because I mean, yeah, Bill and Russ make a lot of money, but you gotta have something to get a third guy. Like,
they're paying Berton some money and a couple other guys.
Oh shit, he's probably just done that. I mean, I know he's not down shooter, but like, if he's not making shots, what is he doing?
But I mean, they basically got him for almost nothing, man. Like, I was mad at Spurs, didn't even try to keep him.
Yeah, so Pelicans, what we doing there? How we helping Zion?
Their team is kind of built wrong, man. Like, I think Lonzo's out. Where he goes, I don't know. I think Lonzo's out, and I don't know if he'll come out and say it, because he don't really probably have that leverage to. But I don't think Brandon Ingram wants to stay there, because I don't think he wants to be the second fiddle and play off of Zion. And I mean second fiddle because people are going to say this is Zion's team. Zion's going to be on all the posters and everything. So I don't think he'll want to be the second fiddle to that. And I don't think Zion really want to be there because of the market side and stuff like that. So I think they might have to blow it up.
But see,
we know this not going to happen, though.
Why can't Ingram and Zion play like? I guess because Ingram not really a sniper like that. He want the ball in his hands too, and Zion had to. Because Zion don't really need the ball in his hand to be effective.
Their games don't complement each other, though.
And they both still get 30. they both still get 30 though. That's the crazy part. Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, David Griffin got his work cut out, man. Like Griffin gonna realize, man, having LeBron in Cleveland made you a lot of money and put you on the map a lot.
Yeah.
Because LeBron knows, hey, I need this. You get this. We're gonna be in the final because I'm LeBron, F, and James. But you get this, we might get the title.
Yeah, it's too bad. It's too bad. Wizards would never do this, man. It's just, I know Wizards should go in probably a rebuild mode, and let Ingram run the show. But if you can trade the whole team and get Bradley Beal and Russ with Zion, that's the only way it's gonna work. But I don't know. But yeah, it's a lot for the Pelicans, because you got to keep Zion happy, because now you about to lose him. Ingram want to be the star player, which I think. I think they should build around Ingram, because Zion gonna be Zion regardless. Like Zion, one of those players where you can drop him anywhere in the league and he's gonna be Zion. You can't say the same for Ingram. And I think that's why I think you should build around Ingram, because Zion's still gonna get 25 off 60% shooting. Like, that's just what it's gonna be. If they neither one want to expand their game and work together, then you're right, you have to blow it up. But you're gonna lose Steven Adams and Bledsoe, because you gotta free some money. They got all the money, so you can't sign nobody, even though nobody coming to New Orleans anyway. And then
somebody gonna come. It ain't gonna be like the top of the line for ages, but somebody will come.
And then Lonzo might walk. I mean, he restricted, but
yeah, I don't think they're gonna match the money for Lonzo. Like, right. Somebody gonna pay Lonzo, and I don't think they're gonna match it. I think Josh Hart gonna be out of there.
I mean, now I believe in the picks that they made. Alexander from Virginia Tech, Nikhil Alexander.
Yeah,
from
Walker.
Walker. He's a bucket, and the point guard from Alabama, Kiera Lewis. I think those two guys are. You give the opportunity, they can be good, and you know all you really need is a guy to help Ingram, like from the wing spot, and Zion gonna be Zion. So they have a lot to do. You know, because you got to keep Zion happy. And that's why I think you should probably build around Ingram, because you probably gonna have to trade Zion.
They're not trading Zion right now. Like,
of course not. But I feel that you can't lose both. Like, you can't lose Zion and Bi. You can't do it. Like, you already been blessed to have Chris Paul, been blessed to have Anthony Davis. Now you got Zion, and you even got Ingram. There is no way you're gonna get somebody else. Like, because they just gonna die off in New Orleans again. New Orleans is not a basketball city, and they need to go ahead and move. Like that's what need to go. New Orleans basketball need to go. They need to go Seattle, Vegas, because they're not gonna survive. There's no bro. This is ridiculous. Like Chris Paul. So when they finally moved to New Orleans and Chris Paul had to go, Davis couldn't get nothing done there, and now it's gonna be the same. It's gonna be the same thing every time.
But that's the NBA though, man. Everybody won't be great all the time. I mean, it just, and then their priority is New Orleans football. Like, the Benson family owns their team, and I don't think the NBA will take it from them. You know, unless they just start saying, "Hey, we're losing too much money on our little hobby. Basically, we're gonna sell the team."
Yeah, because he don't care about the Pelicans. He got the Saints.
You got the Saints. Like the Pelicans are just a hobby.
Yeah.
Like they got that out of.
Just to have some year round, have some revenue year round. Yeah,
there was a steal. Like, they got their team just because when they moved the team there for to play some games and everything, it was like, well, we need somebody to keep it, so they got it. They got it for little or nothing.
Yeah.
So
got it.
Where they would move to, but if they were to move, that would still be like a 2-year process, because you got to have.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Seattle lost the team because they wouldn't. It came down to who's gonna build the arena, taxes from the city or the owner, and it's like, we ain't doing that. So they went to Oklahoma City.
Hey,
you lost the team because of the arena.
Hey, Vegas be like, we build it, they will come. They go to Vegas.
Vegas, it's like
Vegas, and we gonna change the Pelicans name because that is terrible. Vegas, I don't know. I'll come up with a name later, but
I mean, if we not to get sidetracked, but if we keeping it a real, like, every NBA team name sucks because all the teams have moved around. Like, the Los Angeles is not the Lakers. That's Minneapolis.
Well, yeah, but see,
that's what the Lakers say.
But see, yeah, and that is funny. But, like, the only thing I don't like about
the Jazz is not in Utah. Jazz is New Orleans.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I guess the only thing I don't like is the damn Charlotte Hornets coming back. I don't like that. I don't think you could take another franchise name. I don't think that's dumb to me. Like, I don't think a team can go back to Seattle and say we the Sonics. No, you're not. You are not the Sonics. You are whoever you was before. You just change your name. Like, the New Orleans Pelicans is the Charlotte Hornets. I don't care what they say. I don't want to hear Muggsy Bogues play for the Hornets. Like, I don't want him to come. Like how they had like them Hornet Nights. No, you are the Bobcats. You are Adam Morrison and Emeka Okafor is your alumni. Stop trying to get Larry Johnson and Muggsy Bogues over there. That is not your city. I don't care.
No, you got to go at the already established brand, man. It's like if you bought a clothing brand, you're like, I'm gonna call it this, and then it ain't popping. You're like, we call it.
We're gonna go back.
We call it this. We go back to that. It gonna sell because of that nostalgia. It's already a brand familiarity with that.
Man, dude said, I'm gonna name the Bobcat because my name Bob Johnson. Hey, he wild for that one now. That's wild. That's wild.
And nobody cared about that. Like, Bobcats, and then they weren't really win no games.
They were sorry as hell.
About it.
They were sorry as hell. Adam Morrison and G. Wallace. Who was the head over there? Okafor. Sean May.
Okafor, Jill Wallace.
Hey, that team was in college though.
They had Stack Jack, Stack 5, Steven
Jay
Jackson.
Rich was over there too. Now they had a little squad. They had little players over there.
They had a couple guys.
That's pretty funny though. All right, so real quick before we got here, man, conference finals. We already said who's going to the finals last episode, and I mean Trae Young was out game 4. I'm just gonna assume. I mean, yeah, we recorded this show on Tuesday, So I'm already saying Bucks are 3-1. I hope they don't not take advantage of this opportunity. But the Suns were up in the series as well. So we'll see if they can pull it out. Like I said, this show is being aired on Tuesday, recorded on Tuesday. So we'll see what happens on Thursday when it lets out. But we both agreed that the Suns and the Bucks should be in the finals. I just want to say this: Hawks fans, Hawks guys, everybody who like ATL. I don't think y'all coming back. Like as much as growth that y'all did this season, I don't think y'all come back to the conference final. It always takes luck involved, but to get back here. But I just don't see Atlanta Hawks getting back here. I feel like all the big teams going to make bigger changes, and Atlanta doesn't have the changes to make. So shout out to them for a great season. I feel like Bucks going to put them out of their misery in 5. And I don't think Trae Young, even though he was great this postseason, are they going to be back in conference finals no time soon until they get a established second star that can help Trae Young, because like it is a lot he got to do. He got to do just like Luka got to do. He got to do everything.
Yeah, I mean, we're recording this like it's on Tuesday, and the game is live right now. It's 51-38 halftime. Hawks are up. So it's
that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Hopefully Bucks come back and win the game, because that's embarrassing. That's just what it is. Like that's not good.
Like, this is gonna sound like a crazy thing to say, but conference final wise, the Clippers really are the better team than the Suns. The Suns are gonna win the series, and like the whole reason for picking them was because Kawhi hadn't played the last couple of games of Utah, and he's not coming back for this series. But the Clippers are the better team, because outside of a few miscues, they really could be up in the series. Now, granted, games 1 and 2, all right, no Kawhi, there's no Chris Paul. So you got to say that's an even matchup. And the Clippers could have won game 2.
Yep.
They could have won game 3. No, they did win at home in game 3. And then, I mean, they basically been in every game.
Every game. No, you're right.
Win it. And this is without Kawhi.
Their best player.
Like, they either won the game or they had a chance.
Now you can say Chris Paul won their game for game 1 and 2. You can say that too. So it's
But no Kawhi. Yeah, I'm saying, like, he wasn't there, and that makes a difference. But also, there's been no Kawhi the whole series, right, and the Clippers have still been in every game.
Yeah.
So
Clippers, if Clippers force game 7, it can go either way. And let's just say, even though I said all that earlier, let's just say Hawks did win game 4. Like, and Trae Young comes back game 5 back in Milwaukee. Like, Milwaukee, you don't let, like, if a team when a team is down, you have to kick them. Like, regardless if they come back and win this game or not in game 4, or like, you have to kick them. Like, because you're gonna have to wait, and you're gonna play more games that you shouldn't, and now you got more opportunities to get hurt, more opportunities to to give the Hawks chances to make the finals. And this is your chance. If Giannis want to be remembered as one of the best, if you want to be talked about as one of the greats, I'm sorry, you cannot lose to the fucking Atlanta Hawks. Like, that's period. I'm sorry to cuss, but that's period. Like, there is no excuses. Like, I don't care what Chris Middleton does, what Drew Holiday does, what Brook Lopez do in the court, what Peter Tucker do. That is utterly disappointing and terrible for somebody of Giannis' stature to lose, especially when Trae Young has been banged up during the series, and Bogdanovich has been playing terrible throughout the series. It's just what it is. And as much as I love the Bucks, like, losing to the Hawks or even going 6 to the Hawks is embarrassing. Like, that's just embarrassing to me. Like, regardless, because you're talking about you're lucky the Clippers might not have Kawhi and might get put home, and then you playing the Suns. Well, you got to hope Devin Booker and Chris Paul don't take advantage of your 2 guards, because the way Ayton playing right now, you don't seem like nobody can stop this guy. So whatever happens in the rest of the series, Bucks, if you can't win the championship or you can't even get there, I just don't know what to say about y'all no more.
Like, I'm not sure if the Bucks are kind of just like overlooking them, or, I mean, part of it is a bad matchup. The Hawks did go steal game 1, and then I think they might have just got complacent. Like, they did it in every series. They beat New York, lost game 2. They beat Philly in game 1, lost to Philly in game 2. They did the same thing. Beat Milwaukee game 1, lost game 2. Badly. Like, all the games they lost pretty badly.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And then You get game 3 at home. Hawks came out hot. They were up 12-13 in the first quarter, but they got that lead dwindle down at halftime. And then from then on, it was just a nip and tuck battle all the way through. Trey hurt his foot, went out for a little bit, but they were still it was still a nip and tuck game throughout the fourth. But ultimately, Middleton just kind of took over and ended up finishing with 38. And that was really like the deciding thing. Middleton was getting buckets, and the Hawks were kind of just being stagnant, standing around, not setting screens, taking bad shots, turnovers, and that's all she wrote. So the Hawks could have won game 3 and be up 2-1. But now you could still tie up 2-2. You're up at the half. They're playing good ball. Like they're a solid team. Will they be back here? That's you never can say because of injuries. Like we would never thought we got the matches we got right now if it wasn't for injuries. So I can't say the Hawks won't be back.
Sixers suck. Sixers suck. What Philly fans? Sixers suck. That's what y'all had no injuries. Danny Green. That's why you lost to the Hawks. Is that why you lost? Man, Jesus.
I don't want to say who can and who can't be here just because of
that's fair. Like that's fair. And maybe I was a little too harsh, but I just had to take a shot at Atlanta. I had to put some realism into their life. Quick.
Yeah, like the odds won't be in their favor because you got to think Brooklyn gonna be healthy and stuff like that. And some other
that's
teams
all I'm saying. That's really all I'm saying. I'm not saying Hawks are a sorry team. I didn't say that in that spiel. I'm just saying like it's gonna be hard for y'all to get back there again because
you're in the final the final 2 for the East. Yeah, that's tough.
Either way, you're always gonna be one versus whatever because it's Trae Young. Like the next best player on the Hawks is who? Collins and Bogdanovich. I think it's John Collins. I think. But those are. I mean, come on. They don't really compete to the second best player to the other team. So that's why I'm saying like it's gonna take a team effort every time to win. Which tonight is a team effort if they win game 4, and it's gonna be a team effort the rest of the way. So yeah, that's the conference finals, man. Hopefully we are right about the Bucks and the Suns because that probably should be the matchup. And if Kawhi can come back game 1 in the finals, then I will be okay if Paul George dominates and take out the Suns. But you know me, I want a Chris Paul and D Book to win. And I want Giannis and Middleton to win. So if they get the finals, I'll be happy. I won't even care who wins the finals. Like I know you say you don't care anyway about who wins the finals, but it's like if it's Suns and Bucks, I don't give a damn who wins.
I was all Nets, and then Kawhi's my guy. Right. But if he ain't gonna play, like at this point, bro, I just want a black coach to win a championship. Either Ty Lue get number 2, Monty and CP3, and D-Book get
okay.
All right, if you take that angle, or Nate and Trey.
If you take that angle, okay. I mean,
that rhymes with books. F word that rhymes with books. That's how I feel about them.
Hey, that's crazy because it's really funny because we really never have like heated debates on this. As much as I love the Bucks and how much you hate the Bucks, you think we'd be going at it all the time. But like you see me, I would be a realist. Like if Bucks lose a series or even go 6, they suck. But I don't know, man. It just irks me right now that the fact that they are even down in the game without Trae Young. And people, why would you have those lapses when you play? When you I know they watch other games. You watched the game you watched the Clippers win it was in Clippers, right? It was in Phoenix, wasn't it? What that game 5?
What was game?
Clippers and Suns. What was that game? What game was that?
Game 5 other night, yeah.
Oh, game 5, right? In Phoenix?
Yeah.
And they lost. Like what? Why would you not? If you Giannis and Middleton realize, like I don't know. I just feel like as a basketball player, like just like you see the Suns did a letdown, and now you got to play another game, and now you got to play another game. Like, it just you never know, and you want if you got somebody on the ropes, you got somebody on the ground, you need to kick them, keep them down there because if they get up, I'm trying to tell you. That's more of a life lesson for anything. Like if you got someone you got to take it out. Like you can't be playing with it. And Giannis said it in round 1. We don't have to play with our food. But you playing with it, bro. You picking at it. You picking at it right now. All right, man. We'll get out of here, man. We've been going too long, man. You got anything you want to say?
I'm gonna throw this out there. Like Bucks, whether they win the title or lose the title, they probably firing Bud anyway. I don't think there's nothing he can do.
He sucked. Like he's winning despite of. Like we're winning in spite of Bud. Get Bud out of here. We got 4 jobs to be like.
They can win the title. I don't think he coming back. I don't think he coming back no matter what.
You gotta mutually part ways. All right, we're gonna mutually part ways from y'all, man. We'll catch y'all next week. Hopefully, it's Bucks and Suns we're talking about for Game 1. Appreciate Rashad. Make sure y'all follow us on everything: iHeartRadio, Google, Apple Podcasts.
Happy 4th. Stay safe.
Happy 4th. Stay safe, man. Appreciate Rashad. We out.